What if the reason your life feels completely lost, completely empty, completely directionless is not because you lack talent, not because you lack opportunity, not because the world is against you, but simply because nobody ever taught you the one secret that separates people who live with burning purpose from people who just survive day after day, year after year, until their dreams quietly die inside them? What if I told you that the most successful, most powerful, most purposeful human beings who ever walked this earth, they were not born with direction, they found it, they chose it, they burned for it with everything inside them? What if your greatest chapter, your most powerful, most meaningful, most successful chapter has not even begun yet? What if today, right now, in the next few minutes, everything changes? Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will not just inspire you, it will reconstruct you from the inside out. It will shake something awake inside you that has been sleeping far too long. Are you ready? Let us begin. What if everything you believed about your lost, confused, directionless life was completely wrong? What if the emptiness you feel every morning when you wake up, the heaviness that sits on your chest like a stone, the quiet voice inside you that whispers, "Is this all there is?" What if that feeling was not a sign of your weakness, but actually the most powerful signal your soul has ever sent you? What if your confusion was not your curse, but your calling? My friend, I want to speak to you today not as someone standing above you, not as someone who has never felt lost. I want to speak to you as someone who understands the darkness of a life without direction. Because I know what it feels like to look at the mirror and see someone who used to have dreams. I know what it feels like to walk through days that feel like empty corridors, no doors, no windows, no destination. But I also know something else. I know the exact moment a human being decides to stop drifting and start living. And that moment, that one single decision, changes absolutely everything. So today, we are going to talk about how to fix a life that has lost its definite direction. And I promise you, if you stay with every single word, something inside you will shift permanently, powerfully, and profoundly. Let us begin with a truth so sharp it might hurt you. Most people are not living their lives. They are tolerating them. They wake up, they follow the same mechanical routine. They chase money they do not enjoy earning. They maintain relationships that drain them. They carry dreams they buried years ago because someone told them to be realistic. And every single year they tell themselves, next year will be different. Next year I will find my purpose. Next year I will start. And next year becomes next year becomes next year, until one day they look up and realize that time, the most ruthless, most unforgiving force in the universe, has moved on without them. This is not living. This is existing. And there is a catastrophic difference between the two. The person who is merely existing has no burning center, no definite aim, no single magnificent obsession that pulls them forward like a force of gravity. They have wishes. They have vague hopes. They have pleasant daydreams on Sunday afternoons, but they have no direction. And a human being without direction is like a fire without oxygen. It flickers, it struggles, it produces smoke but no real heat, and eventually it dies. Now, what exactly is direction? What does it truly mean to have a definite purpose? Direction is not simply having a goal. It is not writing something on a piece of paper and taping it to your bathroom mirror. It is not making a vision board and hoping the universe delivers your desires like a postal service. Direction is something far more powerful, far more personal, and far more demanding than that. Direction is when you identify one specific thing, one purpose, one mission, one definite aim, and you connect to it so deeply, so completely, so passionately, that it becomes the organizing principle of your entire existence. Every decision you make, every hour you spend, every relationship you build or release, all of it begins to align itself around this one burning center. When a person discovers their definite purpose, something extraordinary happens. The confusion disappears, the fog lifts, the paralysis breaks. Because the mind, your extraordinary, limitless, breathtaking human mind, cannot function at its highest level without a target. It is not designed to wander. It is designed to aim, to focus, to drive toward a specific destination with terrifying precision. Think about a magnifying glass on a sunny day. That same sunlight that spreads across an entire field without burning a single blade of grass. The moment you concentrate it through one lens onto one point, it sets that point on fire within seconds. Your mind works the same way. Scattered thinking produces scattered results. Concentrated, definite, purposeful thinking produces extraordinary, undeniable, unstoppable results. But here is the question that haunts every lost person, every confused soul who is listening to me right now. What if I do not know what my purpose is? What if I have tried to find direction and failed? What if I look inside myself and I see nothing? No passion, no calling, no burning desire, just silence. Let me tell you something that will reframe everything. The reason you cannot find your purpose is not because it does not exist. The reason is because you have been looking for it with your mind instead of feeling for it with your entire being. You have been trying to think your way to purpose. When purpose is not found through thinking, it is found through desire. What makes you angry when you see it in the world? What breaks your heart? What problem, what injustice, what need, when you encounter it, do you feel something move inside you? Not just intellectual curiosity, but a physical, emotional, almost violent reaction. That reaction is a signal. That discomfort is a compass. That anger, that heartbreak, that deep restlessness, that is your definite purpose knocking on the door of your life, waiting for you to stop ignoring it and finally, open the door. Your purpose has always been calling you. You have simply been too busy listening to other people's voices to hear your own. Now, once you begin to feel that direction, once that faint signal becomes a voice, and that voice becomes a roar, the next challenge arrives. And this challenge destroys more people than any external obstacle ever could. It is the challenge of making a decision and keeping it. Indecision is one of the most devastating forces on earth. It is silent, it is invisible, it does not look dangerous, but it is an absolute killer of potential. Every day that you spend in the gray zone, maybe I will not. Let me think about it more. Let me wait until conditions are perfect. Every single one of those days is a day you have silently chosen failure over success. The people who rebuild broken lives and reclaim lost direction are not people who waited until they were ready. They are not people who waited until they had enough resources, enough confidence, enough certainty. They are people who made a decision, a firm, irreversible, burning decision, and then they moved. Imperfectly, uncomfortably, terrifyingly, but they moved. A decision made with 60% certainty and 100% commitment will always outperform a decision made with 100% planning but 0% action. Because life rewards movement. Life rewards the bold. Life rewards the person who steps forward before they feel ready, who speaks before they feel confident, who begins before they feel qualified. The moment you make a definite decision and commit to it completely, the universe itself seems to reorganize around that decision. Opportunities appear that were invisible before. People arrive who carry exactly what you need. Resources emerge from directions you never anticipated. Not because of magic, but because a focused, committed mind begins to see and attract possibilities that a scattered, indecisive mind simply cannot perceive. But decision alone is not enough, and this is the part where many people stumble even after finding their direction. They decide. They feel the energy. They feel the power of finally knowing what they want. And then, slowly, gradually, almost imperceptibly, they begin to cool down. The initial excitement fades. The obstacles become real. The doubts return. The people around them start asking uncomfortable questions, and the fire that burns so brightly begins to dim. This is the critical moment. This is the moment that separates the people who change their lives from the people who simply had a beautiful idea that never became reality. What you need at this moment is not motivation. Motivation is a visitor. It comes and goes. What you need is something far more powerful, far more reliable, and far more permanent. You need a burning desire so intense, so deeply rooted in who you are and what you value, that no temporary setback, no discouraging voice, no failed attempt can extinguish it. Desire, true desire, is not comfort-seeking. True desire is the emotional fire that makes you willing to pay any price, endure any hardship, survive any failure, and rise from any defeat in pursuit of your definite aim. It transforms obstacles into teachers. It transforms failures into data. It transforms the word impossible into simply not yet. When your desire for your destination is greater than your fear of the journey, nothing can stop you. Absolutely nothing. Now, I want to talk about something that most people overlook completely when they are trying to rebuild a directionless life. Something so critical that without it, even the most talented, most passionate, most determined person will eventually stall. I am talking about the people you choose to be around. Your environment is not just physical, your office, your home, your neighborhood. Your most powerful environment is human. It is the minds, the energies, the attitudes, and the beliefs of the people who surround you every single day. And this environment is either building your new direction or silently destroying it. There is no neutral. Think about it. When you share your newly discovered purpose with someone who is themselves lost, confused, and directionless, what happens? They doubt you. Not necessarily because they are evil or malicious, but because your ambition holds up a mirror to their own lack of direction, and that is deeply uncomfortable for them. So they project their fear onto your vision in the form of discouragement, criticism, and realistic advice. And if you are not careful, if you are not selective, their fear will infect your faith. This is why rebuilding a lost life requires you to be ruthlessly intentional about who has access to your energy, your ideas, and your dreams. Seek out people who are going somewhere, people who have found their purpose and are pursuing it with everything they have. People who challenge you to think bigger, act bolder, and believe more deeply in your own potential. When you sit in rooms with such people, something transfers, something invisible, something powerful, and your own direction becomes clearer. Your own faith becomes stronger. Your own commitment becomes unshakable. You become the average of the conversations you have. Choose your conversations with the same care and intentionality that you would choose your most precious investments. And now I want to bring you to the element that perhaps matters most of all, the foundation beneath every other principle I have shared with you today. The one thing without which purpose is hollow, desire is empty, decision is meaningless, and even the best human environment cannot save you. That element is faith, not blind faith, not passive, wishful, sit and pray faith, but active, aggressive, applied faith. Faith that expresses itself through action, through persistence, through the absolute refusal to accept a lesser version of your possible life. Faith is the element that transforms an ordinary human being into an extraordinary force. And the most important faith you can possess is faith in yourself. Not because you have proven yourself, not because your track record is perfect, not because the world has validated you, but simply because you are alive. You are capable of thought, you are capable of choice, and you are reading this message at this exact moment for a reason. Self-belief is not arrogance. Self-belief is the simple, powerful, life-changing decision to trust that you were not placed on this earth to wander aimlessly, that your life has a possible magnitude that you have not yet accessed, that the version of you who knows exactly where they are going, who burns with definite purpose, who moves with clarity and confidence, that version is not a fantasy. That version is the real you, the one waiting to emerge. Faith activates the mind in ways that logic cannot explain. When you believe, truly believe, your brain begins to find pathways that your doubting mind could not see. Your creativity expands, your resilience deepens, your capacity to act under pressure multiplies. Faith does not remove the mountain, but it gives you the absolute certainty that you can climb it, and that certainty makes all the difference. So now, how do you actually begin? Right now, today, in the practical, real, imperfect circumstances of your actual life. You begin with one question, a question so powerful, so clarifying, so piercing that it can cut through years of confusion in a single moment. The question is this: if I knew with absolute certainty that I could not fail, what would I choose as the great work of my life? Sit with that question. Not for 5 seconds, not for a few minutes. Truly, deeply sit with it. Remove every practical objection. Remove every financial obstacle in your imagination. Remove every voice that has ever told you that you are not enough. Remove every past failure and every future fear. And in that open, honest, fearless space, what is the answer? What do you see? What makes your pulse quicken even in the imagining of it? That is your direction. That is your purpose. That is the definite aim around which your entire rebuilt life must be organized. Write it down. Not a list, not a paragraph of vague aspirations. One sentence, clear, specific, time-bound, and personal. My definite purpose is, and then finish that sentence with everything you have. Read it every morning before the world has a chance to distract you. Read it every night before your mind surrenders to sleep. Let it be the first conscious thought of your day and the last. Let it soak into your subconscious until it becomes not just what you think, but who you are. Then make a plan. A simple plan, not a perfect one, because perfect plans are the enemy of actual progress. A simple plan that identifies the very next step you can take in the next 24 hours. And then take that step. Not when you are ready, not when conditions are perfect, now, today, with whatever imperfect resources you currently possess, because direction without movement is just a dream, and you have been dreaming long enough. It is time to move. There will be days when the old confusion returns. There will be mornings when the fog rolls back in and you cannot remember why you started. There will be moments when failure visits you and the doubters seem to be right, and everything inside you wants to surrender to the comfortable numbness of a directionless existence. In those moments, remember this: every person who has ever lived a truly great, truly purposeful, truly magnificent life, every one of them passed through exactly this darkness. Every one of them felt exactly this doubt. Every one of them stood at the edge of surrender and made the choice, one more time, to keep moving. The only difference between the people who arrive at their destination and the people who do not is not talent. It is not timing. It is not luck. It is the decision to continue. It is the decision to rise one more time than you fall. It is the decision that your definite purpose is worth more than your temporary comfort. You are not broken. You are not hopeless. You are not too late. You are simply a person who has not yet fully committed to their direction. And that, only that, is what stands between the life you are living and the life you are fully capable of building. My friend, we have traveled far together in this conversation. We have looked honestly at the pain of a lost life. We have examined the extraordinary power of definite purpose. We have talked about desire that burns hotter than doubt, decisions that are made once and kept forever, environments that amplify your direction, and faith that moves mountains not because it is magical, but because it is applied, aggressive, and absolute. Let me leave you with this final truth. Your life is not over. Your chapter is not finished. The fact that you felt lost, truly, deeply lost, does not mean you have failed. It means you are human. And the most beautiful, most inspiring, most breathtaking thing about being human is this: at any moment, in any circumstance, from any depth of confusion or defeat, you can choose a new direction. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when things are easier or safer or more certain. Now. The direction you choose today, this day, will determine the destination you arrive at tomorrow, next year, and for the rest of your one extraordinary, irreplaceable life. Do not waste another day drifting. Do not spend another morning tolerating a life you never chose. Find your purpose. Burn for it. Decide for it. Move toward it with everything you have, every single day, without apology and without surrender. The world does not need more people who are comfortable being lost. The world desperately, urgently needs people who have found their direction and are pursuing it with every ounce of their magnificent human potential. That person can be you. That person should be you. That person is you the moment you decide.